Norse and Norse mythology, they are not adept. But Sarah, she will research, and Paul, he must accept. Yggdrasil is a glorious word, crush a whole mountain. Well, Thor's hammer could. These fables are bizarre, but good. It's
Understood. Yeah.
You have taken my job.
Well, you took mine.
That's true.
Thanks
for joining us here on Myth Understood. I'm taking your job. Welcome back. This is our second episode in Norse mythology. I am Sarah Oliver, and that is
Paul Bianchi.
And you can find us on the internets at _mythunderstood on Instagram and Twitter, or you can find that thing at the Paul Bianchi and this thing at the Sarah Oliver on all social media.
Wow. And you can also check us out on Patreon. You can search for _mythunderstood. It helps keep this podcast going. And and if you subscribe, you can see all sorts of new additional content, as well as mini myths.
Mini myths.
Yeah.
What is a mini myth?
That's where Sarah and I record ourselves and on video.
First, we shrink ourselves.
We shrink ourselves down like that character from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Which one gets shrunk?
The boy who's
Augustus?
Not Augustus. I think his name's Max, and he gets shrunk,
that's right.
He gets shrunk down to put on the TV. Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
So yeah, that's what we do. That's what a mini myth is. We shrink ourselves down, and we talk about a very short myth that we may have missed along the way in Greek mythology, or perhaps if Sarah's going to do one, then it'll be about Norse mythology.
You don't know me.
I don't know you at all. Who is this stranger?
And there's a lot of other bonus stuff. Let's say a giant thank you to the 18 people that hopped on our brand spanking new Patreon right away. That is fucking awesome. Thank you guys so much.
It made me think of my gym teacher in elementary school who always did the let's give them a round of applause, and he would clap in a circle.
Let's give them a round of applause. There he goes.
Yeah.
So do you remember what we learned last week?
Nothing. I don't remember anything.
Good. Now you are in my seat.
No, I do remember. I was sharing with friends and family this week about the burial rituals, the mean burial rituals, because that was a lot of fun.
Wait, and you warned your mom?
I did. I was like, when you go, Mom, it's lop off your head, put it between your legs. And yeah, and I also, well, so since you're in my shoes for the second time, you get
they're so roomy.
They're so roomy. Yeah, I wear a size 12. You also got to experience one of the side effects of hosting this show is people on the internet are talking to you about correct pronunciation, and they're talking to you or debating with you about what you're saying is factually true or not.
Yes.
And so I would like to come to your defense because someone said something about how Vikings didn't wear horned helmets. And it's a very it's sort of a complicated issue because yes, there was a famous opera where Vikings wore horned helmets, and that's what a lot of people like to say is that's where people got the idea that people wore horned helmets.
Yeah.
But that's not actually true. There are very old tapestries in ancient Scandinavia that depict people, particularly berserkers, wearing horned helmets. And it's sort of debated whether or not people actually wore these to battle, if it was just meant to denote that they were crazy, or if it was a something that people would wear ceremonially, and they were actually very weak because they found evidence of weak, not proper helmets made with horns.
Yeah, what I saw in the books I looked at was for sure there were the platelets I was telling you about that had the pictures of the gods that were supposed to give them magical ability. But then there were pictures, like you were saying, of the berserkers with the horns on. So who knows? Some dude in that book could have just been like, this'll distract from the wiener. But
distract from the wiener?
Well, they're naked.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Or maybe this'll enhance my wiener.
You tell
me, Paul.
Well, three's not a crowd, so
So yes, last week we learned about the Tree of Life, and we set up the very bizarre world, which I had to post pictures of. Please use.
Oh yeah, and someone messaged me about how the deer, the giant deer that eats the tree of life, the eagle, and the dragon are all represented in an edition of Pokemon.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I actually sent a call to action out today that our gossipy squirrel I can only find in a game called Smite that's like Pokemon.
Oh really?
And I'm like, we desperately need some Ratatask fan art out there. We desperately need it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because so I told our Instagram followers, and if you don't follow us on Instagram, I'll tell you again. When I was looking at more of this stuff for today, this squirrel, not only did he like go back and forth, like, oh, it's my job to deliver these messages. When he delivered a message to the gods, he told it correctly, 100%. When he was delivering messages between the dragon and the eagle, and vice versa, he embellished the shit out of it.
Oh.
And it said that he potentially wanted the dragon to gnaw on the tree because he was gnawing on the tree too. But also his gnawing on the tree could represent renewal.
Come again?
The squirrels, not the dragons. Like when he was gnawing on it, like, you know how squirrels just rip shit apart. He maybe wasn't trying to kill the tree.
He was trying to...
I think he's just an asshole.
Encourage growth?
Yeah, well, I don't think... No, I think he's just a bitch.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need some fan art of that bitch squirrel because there ain't none. Yeah.
Well, Sarah, what are you talking to me about today?
Well, why don't you shut the hell up and you'll find out.
Okay.
So our second episode for Norse mythology is more world building because, my God, it's a wacky. And this is literally about building of the world. Are you ready?
My seatbelt is buckled, which is very weird because I'm sitting on a couch in the living room.
Of old was the age when Ymir lived.
Wow.
Sea, nor cool waves, nor sand there were. Earth had not been, nor heaven above. But a yawning gap, and grass nowhere. That is from Poetic Edda, a translation from Henry Adam Bellows. Was
that your Henry Adam Bellows impression?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he sounds like. That is talking about the age that Ymir, our great giant who kind of exploded out of ice and fire meeting. Remember we were talking about the big old bitch giant?
Yeah, you said ice and fire mated?
No, they met.
Oh, they met.
They met in a stupid way.
Okay.
Somehow
was it a meet cute?
It was. An ice river was just walking around holding his little ice purse.
Uh-huh.
And it tumbled down the stairs into Muspel, the land of fire.
Oh, I'm so clumsy.
You know what would happen if we two got together?
I bet you're going to tell me.
We would create poison. And that's allegedly what happened.
Oh, so ice met fire and poison was created.
And created poison, and the poison dripping, the venomous liquid, dripped into the form of Ymir, obviously.
So Ymir is created by just 100% poison.
Well, I mean, as much poison is like a lava and an ice river. So,
okay.
Yeah, I guess. They created...
Is he a bad guy?
What a question, Paul.
Okay.
So in Poetic Edda, which comes first, it's like ambiguous. He's just like, and then I made this big old bitch, and then he made some I'm not gonna tell you that. And then he made some stuff. In Prose Edda, they're like, and that toxic gas and drippings created pure evil. So he's like evil in that one.
Okay.
So go with it. Go with it. You might want him to be evil for where this tale leads. His ending, it's easier to swallow if...
I always prefer a bad boy.
Okay. So, and also, like we were saying, in some versions... I am you. In some versions of the myth, his cow was made along with him. like we were talking about last week.
Oh,
remember?
yeah. Paul Bunyan.
Mm-hmm. And so in the version of Poetic Edda, he was just the first guy and a great grandpa of the gods. In Prose Edda, he was made of pure evil, and his grandsons killed him. In every version, he was giving birth the solo way anyone would, out of his armpits and legs.
Cool. So so he just like made his armpit fart on one side and a child fell out and he did it on the other side.
So
and a child
if you
fell
got
out.
the cow in the story, they dropped out of him like salt blocks, and then the cow out of his armpits, and then the cow licked them into form, or he licked them and revealed children. Also, when the cow is present in the story, Ymir just straight up exists off of cow udder milk. That's how he lives, which makes sense because this is a time before anything.
So this is an either situation where it's like either there was no cow and he did the armpit fart thing and children fell out of his armpits.
Yeah.
Or there was a cow. He like ran a mile. Like he did the mile.
I say
in,
just go
in
with
college.
Prose Edda because Poetic Edda is just a bunch of poems. And then Prose Edda is them taking those poems and adding to it. So I say go with the newer shit.
So,
which when I say newer, I say the less 2,000 years old.
So his armpits got real salty,
Yeah.
and salt blocks came out, and then the
Yeah.
cow licked
The
his
cow
children.
licks all the salt blocks until like hair comes out. Oh, a few days later, a face is out. Oh, a few days later, the whole body's out.
Go.
That's But then from both his legs, he birthed a 6-headed person.
Right. Okay. From both his legs.
Yep.
So like his legs had sex with each other, and then one calf got pregnant, and a baby fell out.
His cow licked a block of salt.
Okay.
And he birthed and created Buri, who must have shacked
Barry.
up Buri, Buri,
Oh, buddy.
Buri, who must have shacked up with an armpit person because he had a son named Bor,
Okay.
and that guy was the father of Odin, Ve, and Vili.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
you heard
Bor
of these.
gave birth to Odin.
He bore a son.
Okay.
And remember, at this time, we've just got Ymir, his kids, and a cow. And when I say that's all we have the land of fire, the land of ice, and then I think these motherfuckers are just floating.
Okay.
There's no land. There's nothing yet.
Okay.
So he's just like, oh, all this stuff's falling up my armpits. He might be on solid ground like ice, but they make a point of being like there was nothing yet.
Maybe one foot's on ice and one foot's on fire. Sort of like when you sleep and you put one leg out of your blanket just because you're like, it's too
Yeah.
hot and too cold.
And he's doing like the Dance Dance Revolution crisscross. Ow, ooh, ah, ee, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in really good shape.
Yeah, of course he's in great shape. He's so beautiful. He's making babies out of his armpits.
Uh-huh.
So there's no world until Odin and his bros create one by being extremely resourceful with their great grandpa's body.
Go on.
Once these brothers either find his body or murder the shit out of him, let's go with murder the shit out of him.
Shh. Grandpa's sleeping.
Oh, he made fresh cookies.
Okay, let's eat his cookies and then let's
Fucking murder
him. Mm-hmm.
It's exactly how it happened. They get real arts and craft crazy though. Okay, this is the HGTV show of our dreams. Okay, from Ymir's body we get land.
So just his whole body is the land.
From his blood we get ocean.
Okay.
From his hair, trees.
Okay.
His bones are the mountains.
Great.
They take his brains, they fluff it up, and they make clouds.
Clouds are from his brains.
They take their great grandpa's skull, and they make the heavens. You figure that one out. And obviously, what do we get Midgard where the people live? Where do you think?
His dick.
You fool, it's from his eyebrows
Oh, his eyebrows.
or eyelashes. Because when you look around, that's what you see.
You know why I got confused is when I was in elementary school, we had a art teacher who did like the same assignments every year. And one year we had to make
Murder your grandfather.
One year we had to make nutcrackers out of corrugated cardboard, and we used cotton for their eyebrows and his beard.
So that would be clouds for you. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you're not creating worlds. You're creating little shitty arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Leave it to the pros, like Odin and his bros.
Anyway, a kid in my class got in trouble because he gave his a dick.
Wait, why?
Why did he get in trouble, or
Yeah,
why did he
get in
make
trouble?
a dick? Because the teacher said it wasn't. I almost said her name. I'm as if she's gonna listen.
Call her out. Call her out now.
Because Miss Craven said that was not cool.
Oh, you know what Craven means? Coward.
Yeah.
Coward. Let it be anatomically correct if that's what his art is. So now we got ourselves a nice pretty world thanks to, I guess, a really big grandpa.
Okay.
I don't know how they spread that out. But boy, oh boy, my favorite origin story is of the dwarves, which by all standards are typical story dwarves. They've got the beards and the hats, and they live in the mountains and the caves, and they mine for gems, and they smith. They are Dragon Age dwarves, right? Except there's one thing about them originally coming out of the soil, like maggots on flesh.
That's how they describe it.
It literally maggots on flesh in quotations.
Oh.
So
I frowned.
yeah, but the gods were like, whoa, this nasty shit coming out of our grandfather's earth soil body, nuh-uh.
Well, yeah, because he's like a big rotting corpse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nuh-uh. We don't want that. Let's make that sentient and put it in sort of like human form, but make them prefer the caves and be long bearded things. I don't know what.
So dwarves came before humans.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is one of the only details they really get into.
Okay.
Yeah. So they made dwarves be dwarves instead of maggots, which I think is a good call.
Yeah. Yeah, because giant maggots wouldn't be fun.
Yeah. And then with the earth made, the brothers became the official gods, Aesir to be precise, and they lived in Asgard, Odin on a throne. I don't know, he probably just called dibs.
The gods are called Aesir.
There's two kinds of gods.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now. But Odin got the throne, and now that's the world that we know in the Norse mythology. We've officially world built. Now let's zoom in and see meet some of the creatures that dwell in that world.
Okay.
So we've got.
When does the body start to look like an earth instead of a nasty rotting corpse?
Oh, so quick.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
I think they just went.
After the maggots were done, like digesting and like turning the body into compost.
Yeah.
That's when they turned them into dwarves.
Well, have you ever watched an HGTV house flipping show with me?
Yeah.
Okay, it's my guilty pleasure, everybody. So you know when they check back in with the people who are like, "How will we ever flip this house?" Or like, "This house will never be remodeled to our liking," and they check back in with them 4 weeks later, right? And
Yeah.
they're like, "How have you settled into your new home?" It's that.
Which HGTV show is it where the song that shows like what they did to the house is do 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 do.
I have no idea.
Someone's gonna listen and they're
Yeah.
gonna know exactly what I'm talking
Dun,
about.
dun, dun. It's
It sounds
definitely
like
not.
it's like revving up. Like
That's not Chip and Joanna. I'll
yeah,
tell you that much. God, it's not House Hunters. Is it Property Brothers?
I don't know.
We'll figure this out. So help me God. All right. So we have gods, and there are the Aesir, which are the warrior gods that chill in Asgard, and then the other kind of gods are called Vanir.
And they're the pacifists.
Well, I would say yes, but they're at war with the Aesir, probably like against their will.
Right. Okay.
So they're the Vanir. They chill in Vanaheim, and they go to Disneyland all the time.
They go to Disneyland.
Disneyland. They're just fertility gods.
Okay.
So I'm sure they would like to just be peaceful, but you're going to find that
We just want to party.
get this birth control out of here. You should die. So basically, Republicans versus Democrats.
Okay. Sounds fair.
But these two groups of gods, they warred with one another. But as you know, and obviously the warrior gods had an advantage because,
They're warrior gods.
yeah, they're warrior gods. They're militarized.
And the fertility gods probably just have like huge targets to like aim for.
Yeah.
Sensitive regions.
Just engorged
Yeah.
penises. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. As you know, the gods, like I told you last week, or last episode, the gods know about Ragnarok pretty early on. They know that the end of times is coming. They know the prophecy. They're like, eventually we're going to have to face the frost giants. So they call a truce pretty quickly. In god time, it could mean a lot of hundreds of years.
So the Vanir and the Aesir are at war at first, and then they're not.
And then they're like, let's call a truce. And to show the good faith, some of the head homies of Vanaheim went to go live in Asgard, including Frey, Freya, and Njord. Next, we have sea gods. Now, all gods here are pretty, it's up in the air if they're like good guys or if they're kind of horrible. Like we'll find out Odin is not just like a nice ruler.
Oh, I would assume not.
Yeah, he's pretty shitty. I would say from what I've read up so far, the sea gods are the worst.
Okay.
So we have Aer and his wife Ran, and they're the god and the goddess of the sea, and they're really fucking awful to mankind because their main source of fun is like carrying a net onto ships and trying to grab sailors to bring them down to drown them.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. Like if Vikings were always having to combat the elements at sea, especially up there in the cold. And yeah, that would have been, people must have been dying all the time.
Can you imagine though, like that being their logic? And so they go back to land and a woman's like, where's my husband?
The sea gods have taken him, Mjolnir.
Oh, so he's trapped underneath the water, never to find rest. Like they thought the sailors were just down there miserably forever.
They're serving Ran now. She's making them clean her house and scrub her toilets.
But you can never get the algae out. It's a forever job.
Yes, she wants no salt water touching her house.
Exactly. So they're pretty shitty. Also, we have another fun little group of people that I know you'll like. There's elves in Norse mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And
are they Tolkien-esque?
They're not. They're more like silly little fairy tale from what I can tell. They're like really harmless and they're magical.
They're more like Santa's elves?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
They're like they're chill, except they love pranking humans. That's the only thing. They'll be like,
I mean,
where's
who doesn't?
my shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. But really they keep to the woods and then they assist farmers and fishermen if they ever pop up at all. So they're cool.
Okay.
I can't wait to look at more stories about the elves.
Were they also converted maggots? Or were they great grandpa's dandruff or something?
They were the last shit Ymir took as he died. You know when you soil yourself, that's elves. Yeah.
When I soil myself? I do know.
I mean, like when you die and your bowels relax.
Okay, like
you personally. Yeah.
Okay, when I die.
So then let's get back to the dwarves. Aside from it being wise that they never take a 23andMe test and learn about their ancestry,
Uh-huh.
the dwarves were pretty classic. Like I said, they're smithing and bearding and stocky and loves mining gems. But not
Are there lady dwarves?
of course.
Do the lady dwarves have beards?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Not all of the dwarves are all too peaceful, as we'll come to find as we get up inside these nests.
Okay.
Yeah, so elves cool, dwarves.
Drool.
And then one of the things you're most excited to learn about, we'll get into the Valkyries.
Okay.
Just fine ass warrior woman attending to Odin in the Hall of Valhalla. Oh yeah.
All they do is attend to Odin.
They're kind of like his personal assistants, but they do go on runs. They choose who is slain in battle and tear through the sky in their flying horses to collect Odin's fallen heroes on their flying horses. So yeah.
But they work for experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's yeah. It's a summer thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then of course we have our heavies, the frost giants. And they're not always.
Do you say heavies or heavies?
Oh God, no, they're not worth. I think elves would be heebie-jeebie. Frost giants are our main heavy in the story, but they're not always the bad guys. There is like a time of everyone just kind of chilling. So we have some fun times with the giants, but mostly the gods and the giants fucking hate each other. And they're known to be the bringers of doom when Ragnarok is coming. And then I wanted to get into meeting just a few of our main players.
Sure.
Just a few. And
I'd like to shake some hands.
Most importantly, getting into their animal familiars.
Oh, that is really important.
We'll get more in depth as we meet each of them individually. But this is the thing I'm so excited about with Norse mythology.
Is animal familiars?
They fucking all have them.
Can I guess their animal familiars?
Oh, please.
Okay,
so we got Odin or Woden in German mythology. He's also got like 4 other pronunciations, but you're getting the main ones, so calm down. His job description is the All-Father, leader of the Aesir in Asgard, CEO of the gods, god of war, magic, and so much other shit.
CEO?
Yeah.
So he runs a business?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Basically. He's not just a god of war and magic. He's got like 7 things. And when we get into Odin...
Wait, war and magic.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Think of him as like a grumpy wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little grump. He's got a cool accessory for him. He's depicted wearing a wide-brimmed hat, a cloak, a flowing beard, and carrying a spear. He's only got 1 eye.
Mm-hmm.
The day of the week that's named after him, what day do you think?
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because it's Woden's Day.
Woden's Day.
That's why it's spelled all weird.
So he's got a couple animal familiars. Yes.
All right. So this is going to be entirely based off of that. As a kid, I used to watch Gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
And there was Odin in Gargoyles. And I remember he had not only an eye, but he also had he wore an eye patch that had like a gold and blue fake eye on the other side. So that's probably made up for Gargoyles.
I kind of remember that in Gargoyles, yeah.
And I think his familiar that they featured was an owl or like some sort of snow bird. And then maybe they also had him like summon a polar bear of some variety. They had him be very wintry. So
okay. Yeah. So Gargoyles, sly kicks. Gargoyles fucking lie to us all.
Okay.
Odin's homies are 2 ravens, one named Hugin and Munin, representing thought and memory respectively.
You know what? It could have been ravens. Now that I think of it.
And they flew all over the world and they gave him the 411, what's going on. Like you're gonna want to know that Thor shoplifts.
Wow. That's juicy.
Well, no, they are thought and memory. So I don't know. I guess that's helpful for an old man to have like a bird who remembers shit. Where'd my glasses go?
Well, yeah, because like if he forgets like his wife's anniversary, and he's like, "Oh, I'm thoughtless right now."
April 25th. It's
Yeah.
my good Raven voice.
That is so Raven.
He also had 2 wolves. He liked animals in pairs.
Pair wolves, pair ravens.
Jerry and Frecky.
Wait, no way.
I don't know. It could be Jerry or Gary. It's Geri.
Okay.
I think it's
Geri.
it's It's got to be Jerry. That's how Jerry Spice spells her name.
Jerry Spice? Jerry the Spice Girl?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think her last name is Spice, Sarah. That's
all-
not why they're called the
They
Spice
all
Girls.
legally changed their name to Spice. So they are wolves who eat the corpses of mortals who have fallen in battle.
Okay.
Pretty cool. And then he's got, obviously, a horse. It's a magical 8-legged horse.
Yes. Oh, I knew this too. Oh, it's so crazy to have that come back to me.
Sleipnir, that had teeth inscribed with runes, so that the horse had a grill,
Okay.
and it could fly gallop through the sky.
I feel like 8 legs is too many for a horse.
Oh, I agree.
Like if it would have to be like Weenie Dog, like have like a long torso in order to fit all those legs on.
Yeah. Also, like, all your fucking horses fly.
Yeah.
You don't need to magic them up more. You don't need to get nuts with it.
Need 8 legs.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Like, is it an 8-legged horse spider?
Yeah, probably.
Ugh. Ew, now I'm going to have a nightmare.
Nay, you will not.
Then we have Thor,
Okay.
God of Thunder.
Uh-huh.
He's got extreme strength. He's protector of Asgard, and he wields his great hammer. And he has a fun fact about him is he has a bottomless pit of a stomach.
What's his hammer called?
Mjolnir.
Yeah, I think so. That's close enough.
Mjolnir. He has a bottomless pit of his stomach, so we have that in common.
Okay, great.
What do you think Thor's animals are? His favorite animals?
Let's see. I think he likes I think he likes a dog.
Well,
And like a creepy dog, like a big dog.
creepy big dog. You would be wrong. He has a chariot pulled by 2
Ostriches.
goats.
Goats.
And they are so loud, they're not allowed on the Rainbow Bridge. Thor is so big and burly and stomps around making thunder, and his goats are the same way that like they've nicely asked him, please find other routes between worlds. He's not allowed on the Bifrost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they fainting goats?
I like imagining that. They're
just-
yoga goats.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Then we have I'm just gonna go through a couple other ones, and then we'll get into each god individually as we continue. But I just wanted to really color the world, flavor the world with what's going on with.
Yeah, that's fair. I like it.
Okay, so Loki, our frenemy, he's a companion to the gods. He's half giant and half god. He knows he's destined to be their enemy. Everyone does, but he lived amongst them for a long time anyway. And he's a trickster, god of mischief, but for a long time he was also their friend. And what kind of animal friend do you think Loki has?
Definitely a butterfly.
Fly like a butterfly. Loki transforms into a lot of things, including animals.
Snake.
He's got a big thing with a snake that happens later.
Uh-huh.
But one of the more popular animals, myths that he transforms into an animal is a salmon.
Oh, okay.
But he does have a son that's a wolf later,
Oh, okay.
of course, with a giant. So somehow, a giant and Loki create a wolf.
A lady giant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Then we've got Frigg or Frigga. And that's Odin's wife, and she's mother of most of his kids, and she's the most powerful goddess in Asgard. She's a goddess of wisdom and foresight. Sometimes people have thought like there could be an overlap with her and Freya, but there's enough distinction at this point where you're like, no, they're definitely not the same.
Does she have a sister who's goddess of hindsight?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, that the most useful one. She's pretty normal with her animal, her familiar.
Okay.
You want to guess what it is?
Yeah. I think she's got the owl.
There you go. You
Yeah.
got the horned owl. Yeah.
Great.
And she has a great story where she has two sons, and she favors one so much more than the other. So
Okay.
I'm excited to get to that. Now we have Freya. She's the goddess of beauty, love, sex, fertility, gold, death, war. But most importantly, she wears a cloak made of
Stardust.
falcon feathers.
Oh, okay.
And that's how she can fly.
Wow.
That's not the most important thing about her. I lied. I lied because I'm saving the most important thing about her
Uh-huh.
and about all Norse mythology for this moment. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What pulls Freya's chariot?
Just like a whole bunch of dicks.
Freya rolls around being the goddess of beauty and love and war and all that crazy shit she's the goddess of. She's the number one bachelorette. Giants are always trying to kidnap her and marry her or trick her into marrying them. She rolls around. Oh God, she's goals. In her falcon coat in a chariot pulled by cats.
Whoa. That wouldn't go anywhere.
I know, it'd just be a mess.
So, Clancy, a podcat here at the Dragon's Den,
Mhm.
was taken for a walk the other day. And
Oh, outside?
yeah, and he enjoyed being put on a leash and being set places, but you couldn't really walk him places. It was more like you had to carry him around and be like, okay, now you're going to investigate this spot and this spot. My cat, Drew, if you put a leash on her, it's as if the weight of the world's multiple worlds are suddenly on her shoulders. She walks like with her stomach against the floor, thinking that like something is pushing down on her with incredible force.
Aw.
So she does not like a leash.
I gotta try it on Scarlet. I put a lobster outfit on her today that Danica, my beautiful roommate, bought her. And
How'd she do?
she's just so cute. She at first she was like, it's just, I think it was just too hot of a day.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it on her every day for the rest of her life. See how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, so we have some more crazy animals that I just want to spit out. You would be right that somebody has they're calling it their spirit animal in this list here, but it's their familiar that they hang out with. Someone does have a polar bear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I just saw it. Where'd it go? God, there's a chipmunk. Should I just fire off some of these spirit animals? Okay. So we've got a red-tailed hawk, which is fine. Moose to Val, goddess of travel, so and deduction. 2 wood ducks to a goddess of love and communication. A raccoon to the goddess of secrets, Vula.
Mm-hmm.
Northern mockingbird to Mim, god of friendship. A beaver goes to Waylon, god of labor. Eastern chipmunk to Saga. We got a gray jay. We got a hoary redpoll. I don't know what the fuck a hoary redpoll is.
Me neither.
To the goddesses of sparrows and finches, redpoll and hoary redpoll. To the 2 daughters of Tyre and Suna. Names lost. Oh, but their spirit animals were not. Whatever a northern goshawk is, we have one for Tyre. White horses, black hound. These are all fine.
What does Tius have? Or Tius? Or TS?
Tyr? Tyr?
TIUS.
TIUS. Let's see if he's in this. I'm not seeing this, homie. Thea, Sif, Thor. I don't think he has any animal friends.
Oh, that's too bad.
We got a hoary bat. A lot of
Okay.
horrors. A lot of horror of animals.
HOARY?
Yeah.
Okay.
barred owl, wood turtle
Hmm.
for Asha, goddess of pottery, creative design, and celebration. And then Ul, god of competition and sport, gets the polar bear.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, everybody pretty much, it's really like an ideal place to live because everybody gets a fucking animal. And even the fertility gods I'm looking at, they all have like wood frog, hares, crows, Arctic foxes, Canadian lynx. I don't know. What? Why do you have a Canadian lynx? River otters, feral pig or boar. Rickon, god of travel, trade, and fertility farming, sometime called Ricky or Rocky. He's got an orca. Now, that's a great spirit animal.
Well, and this isn't that different from Greek mythology because all the Greek gods had animals that were specific to them.
What
well.
did Hebe have?
I don't know what Hebe had. But, Hera had the peacock, and
Mhm.
Zeus had the eagle, and Athena had the owl, and Artemis had the stag,
Right.
and Poseidon had a dolphin.
Poseidon had a dolphin?
Yeah, and horses.
Yeah. I was like, he's the horse. Obviously, he's the seahorse. Yeah. So those are the important facts. I think we've now officially done the world building. Hopefully, it is just such a weird thing to like go into, but once you go into it, the stories are really fun. But I think it was necessary to do 2 episodes of here's the world and here's the people you're gonna meet.
Yeah,
because it's abstract at first.
I'm still sort of stuck on the salt licks.
Just come to my armpits. Let me show you.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you listening at home,
It's a girl.
Sarah has a baby encapsulated in a salt lick underneath her arm right now.
Check out what's coming out my butt.
I'm not going to.
Familiar's for you. Familiar for you. You get an animal. You get an animal. Which one do you want?
Hey, are you a new god who needs a familiar to help them out doing their godly duties? Well, look no further. My name is Merrick, and I have familiars for you and you and you.
Oh, hi. I just became a god. And I have all of these crazy responsibilities. I'm just so stressed out, and I could really use an emotional support familiar.
Okay, first question. What are you god of?
Oh, okay. So I'm god of taxes, mountains, river fairies, clouds, and death penalty.
Okay, look no further. I got a
Yeah.
hoary ferret just for you.
Oh my god, that ferret is presenting its vagina at me. That is a whore.
This ferret used to be a hooker. Yeah.
Whoa.
But he's a hoary one 2 times over. Hoary because he used to be a hooker, and hoary because he's covered in ice.
Oh.
He's dead. But this is your familiar. He will draw your carriage to glory.
How?
He's magical. He's got 8 legs.
Oh God. The legs are alive, but the ferret's dead?
The ferret's dead. The legs are alive.
Shit. All right.
Well, enjoy your... See, at Merrick's Familiar Emporium, I've got animals coming out of my armpits.
It is I, Thor.
Hello, Thor.
All right, I need some new animals. These goats, I can't get anywhere with these goats.
Well, you didn't enjoy my fainting thunder goats, did you?
No, I'm supposed to be terrifying. I'm protector of Asgard.
All right. Thor, I got the best animals
Give me
for you.
something more.
Come over here. Would you accept these thunder gerbils?
Thunder gerbils?
Thunder gerbils. You can have 200 of them to pull your chariot.
Now we're talking.
They will be quiet as a gerbil as you cross the Bifrost.
This is perfect. The god of thunder thanks you.
He's probably going to eat them.
Familiars for you. Familiars for you. You and you and you. Now you got a pet. Adopt, don't shop. So that is our episode of Myth Understood. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can again follow us on all social media at _Myth Understood, or personally at the Sarah Oliver, at the Paul Bianchi, or And please do check out our Patreon. Every little bit helps. It's really lovely to get to keep making these episodes. We've been doing it for 2 years, and we want to do it for 2 billion more years. So contributing to our Patreon really helps us prioritize this.
You know what I'm going to post next on Patreon?
What you gonna do?
A childhood drawing I did of Odin. And
What?
He has a do-rag, high-waisted tights, and opera gloves.
Okay. I can't wait to see that. So you have looked at his Wikipedia
I
page.
have,
It's
yeah.
exactly what he's like.
Mhm.
Okay. Night-night.
Night-night. Sarah, you might not be aware of this, but Jake Lloyd has joined us on a podcast or two.
Is there a reason she wouldn't be aware?
I am on a lot of drugs.
That's fair.
So Jake Lloyd is here to tell us about his podcast, Elaborate, which both of us have been guests upon.
This is true. You were both guests on Elaborate. It's a fantastic little conversational talk show in which I sit down with my friends like the two of you and some people who aren't my friends, some people who are a bit estranged, and I dive into their lives, find out what makes them tick, and I just sort of find out why. It's not therapy, but it's not therapy.
Where can I find this delightful little dive into Jake Lloyd's mind?
You can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are found, or elaboratepod.com.
Well, I will find it there.
Perfect.
It's Dragon Wagon.